Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of Desert Fathers with Bishop Erik Varden. I'm Jamie Baxter from Exodus 90, and I'm honored to walk alongside you during this adventure into the desert. Throughout this month, we've been exploring Bishop Varden's exhortations on the 7th chapter of this systematic collection of the sayings of the Desert Fathers on fortitude. Throughout this month, we've been given powerful exhortations and examples as we seek to persevere through the challenges we face in our own day. Abba Gregory reminds those who would give themselves up to the practice of philosophy to be prepared for hardship in order to attain wisdom. Abba Isaiah reminds those who are called to exeniteia, that is, to give up a place to rest their head like our Master, to surrender every care into the hands of a God who holds them. And Amma Syncletica, a heroic sufferer in her own day, teaches us that natural sickness can often accomplish more than ascetic practice in the purification of our hearts, if we can persevere patiently through our suffering. As we begin our final week on this powerful chapter, we turn now to overcoming the challenge of scandal and are given a surprising and inspiring image in response. With that, I'll hand it over to Bishop Varden as we read and meditate on a saying from an anonymous elder in the desert. This is episode 35 of Desert Fathers, on hunting dogs.
An elder was asked how a zealous monk might avoid being scandalized should he see others return to the world. He said, "Let him pay attention to hounds running in pursuit of hares. Even as the hound that has actually seen the hare will keep running after it, the others that merely ran along with the pursuing hound will run for a while, then turn back. Only the one that has seen the hare keeps in pursuit until it catches it. The return of the rest of the pack does not distract it from its goal, nor will it bother about precipices, shrubs, and sharp sticks. Even surrounded by thorns, scratched by them, it gives itself no rest. Such is one who seeks the Lord Christ. Ceaselessly attentive to the cross, he will pass over whatever scandals might affect him until he catches up with the crucified." I love this saying. It gives voice to an energy of movement that defines monastic life well lived. It rarely appears to outsiders and is therefore often unsuspected. The gawper who peeks through the window of a monk's cell or over the enclosure wall sees an existence marked by peaceful regularity. Life seems utterly predictable, with little or no room for spontaneous expression. The rhythm of prayer, work, reading, eating, and rest is unalterably kept, day in, day out, marked by the chiming of bells or the strangely sweet-sounding beating of the semantron. The hallmark of the monk we have seen is Hesychia, a peace which the world cannot give. The monk seems to embody the very type of a pacified human being whose inward order is outwardly reflected in a grave demeanor and measured movement. What image might such a person use in order to provide a simile apt to render the secret of his consecrated life? The answer given by this particular elder may astonish us, for the image put before us is that of the wind-swift greyhound, of a brave, determined hunting dog. The context in which the image occurs is that of grievous perplexity. The elder is questioned about those who, having put their hand to the plough with alacrity, end up looking back, then turning back, unable or unwilling to stick to their furrow. Such situations arose in antiquity as they do today, for a variety of reasons. Sometimes great pain is involved. We must guard against facile evaluations. Yet, a common denominator is often found. It has to do precisely with a loss of interest, a waning of desire. Even as a marriage that at first was loving and passionate may show signs of stress when the couple no longer have a shared sense of purpose. Monastic life falters when the monk considers the daily round and asks, "What for?" It is of supreme importance to keep one's sense of finality alive while nurturing one's will to accomplish it. Specific elements of monastic life may exercise great force of attraction at the outset. I may love getting up at 3 for vigils, going out to milk cows before dawn, taking frugal meals in silence. Such exercise may give me a sense of at last doing something real, of no longer living on fine words and devout resolutions. There's joy in this, a strong, pure joy I do not in any way wish to disparage. It is likely, though, that this joy will be tempered over time. So, my fidelity must be rooted at greater depth, beyond sentiment. St. Benedict stresses this when, in the midst of prescribing minutiae of regular life, he puts in lapidary phrases like these: "The love of Christ must come before all else. Let them prefer nothing whatever to Christ." The Abba in our saying uses the image of a dog pursuing a scent. To live and thrive over time as a monk, it is not enough just to feel drawn to the community, wanting to belong, to do what the others are doing. The community plays a providential part in the realization of a vocation, but I do not make vows for the community's sake. I make vows in order to know Christ and Him crucified, to be His and for Him to be mine. Only if I keep my eyes fixed on Him constantly, ever striving to be near Him, will I be preserved from distraction into mediocrity, or retrogression, or recalcitrance. How do I stay on scent? How do I keep the Lord always in my sight? First, by being faithful. Faithful to the sacraments, to prayer and reading. My relationship with Christ, like any relationship, must be familiarly nurtured. The divine office, Lectio Divina, Mass, confession, these aren't just observances. They are privileged instances of a rendezvous not to be missed. To establish whether our first love is still alive, we have at our disposal a reliable criterion of discernment: our dreams. Whether those dreams that come to us at night, or those dreams that come to us in our daydreams. Petronius Arbiter writes in a poem of how our dreams reveal our preoccupations. The lawyer sees the judge, the crowded court. The miser hides his coin, digs buried treasure. The hunter shakes the forest with his hounds. The sailor rescues from the sea his ship, or, drowning, clings to it. Mistress to lover writes a love letter. The adulteress yields in her sleep, and in his sleep the hound is hot upon the traces of the hare. Taking us back to the parable from which we set out. In my conscious and subconscious desire is Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left. You will recognize those lines from St. Patrick's Breastplate, a text contemporary with many of our Desert Fathers. It does put the matter in a nutshell.
An elder was asked how a zealous monk might avoid being scandalized should he see others return to the world. He said, "Let him pay attention to hounds running in pursuit of hares. Even as the hound that has actually seen the hare will keep running after it, the others that merely ran along with the pursuing hound will run for a while, then turn back. Only the one that has seen the hare keeps in pursuit until it catches it. The return of the rest of the pack does not distract it from its goal, nor will it bother about precipices, shrubs, and sharp sticks. Even surrounded by thorns, scratched by them, it gives itself no rest. Such is one who seeks the Lord Christ, ceaselessly attentive to the cross. He will pass over whatever scandals might affect him until he catches up with the crucified. May we, like our fathers and mothers in the desert, overcome the scandals we face in our own day by keeping our attention focused upon the cross of Christ, like a hound on a hare." Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode. If you've been blessed by the podcast, please share it with a friend. Visit desertfathers.com to subscribe to our email newsletter and to submit a question to Bishop Varden for our next Q&A. Desert Fathers is brought to you by Exodus 90, produced by EWTN, and written by Bishop Erik Varden. Brothers, join me and thousands of men from around the world in reviving an ancient devotion to St. Michael the Archangel, called St. Michael's Lent. Leading up to September 29th, traditionally the Feast of St. Michael, we will take up the practices of prayer, asceticism, and fraternity, in imitation of St. Francis of Assisi, who observes St. Michael's Lent with great devotion in his time. Download the Exodus 90 app or visit exodus90.com to learn more. All Holy Fathers and Mothers of the Desert, pray for us.